Start recording. All right, hello everybody. Thank you for joining me tonight. I am super excited about this class. This is a class, I've gone to a couple classes about essential oils for pets and animals, but I actually learned the most when I researched the class to teach it to you guys. So I learned a lot while doing this and kind of reviewing my notes from the previous classes, and I am super excited to share. And I have a lot to share, so hopefully we don't go over on time, but if we do, just hang with me there. So for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Kelly Karstens, and I have been using essential oils, Young Living essential oils, for a couple of years, and started doing some Zoom classes this summer with a friend to kind of offer a little bit more for my team, a little bit more opportunities, and I am just super excited about all the different topics we've been able to cover this summer. And this is one that I planned a little bit farther into the summer because I knew it was going to take me a little bit of time to research and get ready. So we are just going to go ahead and jump in. So welcome. All right, so this is our disclaimer. And just so you know, these statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. The products that we discuss tonight are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. So with Young Living and the way we talk about our products, we really want to stay above the wellness line. So we're talking about everything that can support, maintain, and there's another word there. It starts with a P, not prevent. Anyway, we just really want to talk about staying above that wellness line. So we're going to talk about that with our animals as well, because we want them to be healthy just like us. So this is just for educational purposes. I am not a veterinarian. So most of this stuff is just things that I've researched, learned in other classes. So I really encourage you to research the products for yourself. Only use what you feel comfortable with, and as always, start slow and go slow. Start small, go slow. Start low, go slow. There we go. There we go. Wow, that was really rhymey. Okay, so my Young Living story, we're going to give you the short version, but this is me and my husband, Ben, and our dog, Brinkley. And Ben, my husband, kind of does a talk where he talks about men and oils, and he kind of says boy meets girl, girl meets oils, boy meets oils, boy falls in love with oils. So that was pretty much what happened for Brinkley too, although he does like the oils, and he can't tell me that obviously, but we've used them for lots of different situations, and he's really just his mood and his behavior, you can tell that he's really taking effect from them and really enjoys them. So he really likes some of the new products, and we'll go over that as well. But that's our story. And if you want to know more, just contact me. I'd love to talk about it. So just let me know. Okay, so for those of you guys who might be joining us that aren't sure what young essential oils in general are, they're the aromatic volatile liquid distilled from plants. So that sounds really scientific, but it's basically kind of like the lifeblood of the plant. So we take a plant, just even a grass, blade of grass from the lawn, and it's kind of that oily part in there that helps move things, essential things, back and forth. So we extract the oil from whatever it is, whether it's a fruit, whether it is grass, whether it's a tree. You're going to extract it usually through distillation. They are pure, natural, and safe. One little caveat we'll go over in the next slide is tonight we're only talking about Young Living essential oils, okay? So that's really important. You don't want to just go to the grocery store and pick up something off the shelf. We don't know the parameters of what's in there, and so this is why we're only talking about Young Living tonight. But they can just do amazing things. They can do amazing things for us people, and they can do amazing things for our pets too, to support, maintain. Still can't think of that P, so if somebody thinks of it, send it to me in the chat. But they can calm, energize, balance, purify, and help rejuvenate our body and mind. So who doesn't need that, and who doesn't want that for their pets? So like I said, why Young Living? Well, that's because Young Living has the Seed to Seal promise. And if this is something that you want to know a little bit more about, there's actually a website, seedtoseal.com. You can just go and learn all about the different steps. But it starts with the seed. So Young Living goes to great lengths to make sure the seeds are great before they even plant. So Young Living owns a lot of their own farms. There are some partner farms as well, where we're partner with farmers, and we kind of let them know what our standards are, and they have to comply with that to be able to sell their products to us. And anyway, so we start with the seed, it goes through the cultivation, so that includes, you know, trying to disturb nature as little as possible. Sometimes that's even harvesting with horses and taking trees out and such, you know, so that we don't destroy the wildlife that's in the area or the other natural things around. And then we distill them, and distillation, you know, anybody can distill anything, but there's appropriate times, appropriate temperatures that's going to make the most beneficial oil that we can get. So we've really done a lot of research on that. And then testing. Every product is tested at least 8 times with the seed to seal promise, and if anything doesn't pass any of the standards, we don't use it. I was actually at the warehouse recently, and they said that in very rare circumstances where we don't have an oil, there was one particular that we've been out of for a long time, and a farm came and said, hey, we've got this for you, we meet your standards. So they tested it, it didn't meet the standards, and so they just sent it back. And you know, they really would have liked to be able to put that oil back on the market. It's one that a lot of people would have jumped on, but it just didn't meet the standards, so that's just not the Young Living way. So anyway, the testing, I got to tour the laboratories too where they test some of the things. That was pretty cool. But we'll do a whole nother Zoom class on that, so you can learn all about that. And then the seal, we bottle them ourselves. I did watch that as well. And just so that you know with the seal that, you know, the Young Living promise is there with you. So anyway, check out Seed to Seal, but that's why we're only talking about Young Living products tonight. Okay, so we can't, I'm not speaking to any other brand of products, anything you might buy somewhere else. You know, essential oils with the strength that Young Living has become a lot really popular. So there's a lot of people, a lot of companies out there on the market now. They're popping up every day, but we're just going to stick with the best, especially for my beloved pet, because if any of you guys know me personally, you know how important Brinkley, my little puppy, is to me. So one thing on Young Living does have a veterinary advisory council, or veterinary advisory council, and these are the members of that council: Lindsay Elmore, Nancy Brandt, John Hanover, and Susan Albright. As you can see, many of them are veterinarians, as well as Lindsay Elmore is a registered pharmacist. And they also had their first annual animal conference this year, and it sounds like that's going to be a yearly event, so they're going to have one next year. And I got to go to a class by a lady who attended that meeting, and it was awesome. She showed me the products they got in their swag bag, and it was like over the price that she paid for her ticket to go, the things that she got. So that was really cool, and she had a lot of good things to share. So definitely on my wish list, never-ending wish list of things to do. So just like people, you know, we have methods of application that we can use for the essential oils for our animals and pets. They're a little bit different. Some of the things differ a little bit. We'll go over a little bit of that. But diffusion, there's basically 2 types of ways that you can diffuse. And the first one is by using a diffuser. That's what we are kind of used to. Like, I like my home diffuser is my favorite that Young Living sells. But the second is by passive diffusion. And that is like, I really want to use peace and calming for my dog. I just put it on myself, and he gets to smell it off of me. Or I might put a drop in his bedding, or you know, something that's going to be around him, like a cotton ball. If I knew he wasn't going to eat it, depending on the animal, you know, you might put it in a cotton ball in their cage or something like that. Another thing you can do is add it to the drinking water. So Young Living has made that really easy with us with the Vitality line. We know the Vitality line we can use internally to support all of our body systems, like digestive, immune system, all sorts of stuff like that. So we'll talk about some of the Vitality oils, but those you can add straight to your drinking water. You really want to make sure that you have the ratio according to what kind of animal you have, okay? So like for me, sometimes a drop of peppermint in my water is too much, Peppermint Vitality. So for an animal, you're really going to want to use maybe that toothpick trick. So I should have grabbed a oil out. If you guys don't know what the toothpick trick is, you're going to take an oil, and this is not a Vitality oil, so just bear with me. I'm just grabbing one out here. But this little orifice right here, the little hole, as you can see, we're just going to take a toothpick in that and then take it out, and you can just swirl it in the water. And I actually use that for myself sometimes as I'm getting used to a particular oil. Like for myself, I put Peppermint Vitality in a hot chocolate, and I've put in way too much. Sometimes you try and get just 1 drop and you end up with 4. So the toothpick trick is really nice. something to use. Mixing with foods, so this is pretty straightforward. There's sometimes I've done this for my dog, and sometimes he likes it and sometimes he doesn't. You really want to make sure you don't put a lot of oil in there and get it really strong. So that's good. Orally, so some animals you can actually put the oils in capsules like we do for people, or you can even put some of them straight in their mouth, depending on the breed, depending on the animal. So that's kind of something that you're going to want to research. Just a side note on that, I just did a class last week on all of the different resource materials, and so that might be something for you to watch on the YouTube channel, and we did kind of talk about some of those for pets. So we won't talk about those specifically tonight because some of those things are non-compliant, but great resources for you to have and research in the comfort of your own home. So go and watch that class. It's available on our YouTube channel. Topically, this is using them just like we would for people, straight on the skin. We're going to dilute them, and that's going to be, again, specific to the breed, specific to the animals, specific to their weight, how big they are, that kind of thing. All things to keep in mind. And then inhalation, and sometimes this is a little bit more difficult, but if you really want to get to an animal, you can kind of put it over their mouth a little bit, over their nose, but animals have a really, really strong sense of all the senses, actually. We're going to move on to the next one, I think, to talk about this. So for people, we know that there are acupressure points and Vitaflex points. This is just an example of a chart of some reflexology. This is kind of thought to be, so this isn't, it comes from a scientific source, but canine reflexology is still kind of new. So anyway, just like we do for people, but just so you know that the animals, they just have really, really strong senses. So something that might not be strong for me might be really strong for your animal. So if your pet doesn't like an oil, it's not specifically that they have an aversion to it. It could just be it's really strong for them, okay? So one thing I learned, just looking to see what I have here to demonstrate with without bringing my dog in. And one thing that I learned is you never want to put the oils at first, kind of like for my dog, for example. We don't want to put it on the front here because then they're just going to continue to smell it. So you want to put it like on their head or their back, something like that. That's kind of frequently what we do with our dog. And you always want to make sure the animals can leave the area, especially if you're diffusing, especially when you're first starting. So you just want to make sure you leave an open door for them, and that way they can excuse themselves if they need to. So just be gentle with the oils when you introduce them to your pets, just like you do to yourself. Kind of less is more, and work your way up. Now my dog loves them, so, well, I think he does. All right, so what are the benefits of using these products for our animals? So just like people, we've got physical benefits and we have emotional benefits. So we're going to spend more time talking about the physical benefits tonight. I think the emotional benefits could be a whole class on its own, but we'll talk a little bit about that. But essential oils, they can help with a healthy immune system, digestive system, respiratory, cardiovascular, all the body systems, just like us, especially those vitality oils. And one thing specifically to mention in my research is that canines and horses are the easiest animals to use essential oils with. They really just take to them the best. But felines and some other types, they require a little bit more knowledge, and it's more than we can really get into in this class. So I really just encourage you to research those things on your own if that's something that you're interested in. Again, watch the resources class that we have available to you. And it's strongly recommended that you do a little bit of research, like I said before, using them with felines. So I have a little bit more cat information later. We'll go over that. Just like with people, prevention is number one. So diffusion is your best tool for prevention. So think of things you might diffuse in your house to kind of help prevent. Those are things we're going to use for our animals too. So one thing to kind of think about, just think about how God intended our animals to be, and that is outside walking. So they'd be walking on the grass, they'd be picking up different things from the grass, from flowers, on their pads. So that's really how God intended our nature to work, is for the animals to be benefiting from the things on the ground, that would be coming in contact with their feet. So, this is something that isn't too far out there to be using for our animals. So, pick what you like and diffuse daily. And again, you know, you just really want to start small, especially if you have that pet in the room. And where do you start? The same place you start for you, the everyday oil collection. So we'll go over that in a little bit more depth. So the everyday oil collection. So this is what the current everyday oil collection looks like. Some of you guys might have one before this pretty package. That's what mine was, like 2 different packages ago. But this is the one that we have right now with the great oils in it. They've just picked a great collection of things to use for a variety of things. And most of them we can use for our pets too, just in the right circumstances. So we're going to talk more about that. This is some really cool information that I found about diluting. And this is a really common question that I get asked, especially with kids and babies and stuff like that, is how much is too much? So this is kind of interesting to me because Brinkley's about 35 pounds. So that puts him in the 50% category, and I hardly ever dilute with him. But, you know, it's just kind of myself. I started diluting, and then, you know, as I kind of got used to it, then I kind of stopped. Sometimes I think it's better to dilute. You know, you get the most bang for your buck. A lot of times we know how potent 1 drop of peppermint oil is, you know, and it's just going to make it go longer. So why not start lower? And but like I said, this gives you a little bit of indication based on the weight. And then here's some other information for other animals. So like the horse, that was really interesting. Minimal to no dilution, but it makes sense because they're so large. So cats dilute 75 to 90% what you would use for a person. That's huge. Okay, so like we said before, just make sure with those cats you're doing your research and give you some hints on where to find that information, okay? So, all right, we are gonna get into the nitty gritty here. So like I said, we're gonna go over the oils that are in our premium starter kit, you know, and wanna make sure that you know how to use what you have. You know, you don't necessarily need to go out and buy new things. Just start with what you have and things you're using for yourself. So purification, I love purification for multiple reasons. But one thing, you can use it for outdoor annoyances. That's pretty much said right there. It has citronella as one of the ingredients in purification, so that's one thing that we use. One of the ways that we do that is we actually put some drops straight on Brinkley's collar. Sometimes purification, there's another oil we use too. I'll talk about that later. But this is a really cool thing that I got at convention. I've been wanting to get one of these for a while. It's just a little pendant. It's made out of silicone, and it goes right on their collar. So you can just put it on there, and they can have it with them as they go to help, you know, so they can enjoy their outdoors annoyance-free just like we like to. I just gave one of these to a friend, and I haven't heard from her what she thinks about it yet, but I'm really interested. I do have another member who's used one of these for her dog, so it sounds like it's worked pretty well. Odor eater, that's one thing with pets, you know, they smell sometimes. Purification was one of the first things we started diffusing. We had our condo for sale, and it didn't smell like dogs to me, but other people who didn't have dogs could smell it. So, you know, we were just diffusing purification round clock, and it just kind of like a little Pac-Man, like just kind of picks up those scents, and it doesn't, you know, overly smell like air fresheners would. It just smells neutral. So that's great. Another thing, you can add it to your natural shampoo for double duty. So that's a great thing to use it for as well. Panawe. Who doesn't love Panawe? This is one thing that I like to dilute on myself. It's kind of a stronger oil, so I would really make sure that you are diluting it appropriately for your pets. But we can use it for relief, for tired muscles, joints, tendons, from daily workouts, which is kind of funny. But I did go to a class where they were talking about dogs that are show dogs and do agility training and all sorts of stuff like that. So they might actually be needing the support after a workout. Or, you know, just you get an older dog, like unfortunately my dog's getting a little bit older. He still loves to run, but sometimes it catches the best of him. And so, you know, that would just be something that would be useful. And Panawe, just like for people, great for overall massage. Peppermint. Peppermint is probably my husband's favorite oil, and actually I've started using it more and more for our dog. And that is because that very first thing right there, that it's cooling. So funny story, we really need to get Brinkley's hair cut, and I called to make an appointment, and they're like 3 weeks out. Of course, it's the summer. We live in the country, so he loves to be outside all the time. So we are utilizing Peppermint a lot to help him cool down. In fact, he likes to sleep in our bedroom, and lately he's been panting at night, and I'll just go get a couple drops of pure Peppermint, and his fur is really long, so I'm not diluting it as much as I would if I was putting it straight on short hair or skin, but I just kind of put it on his back and on his, sometimes I'll rub it on his paws as well. And usually within about 5 or 10 minutes, you know, he's calmed down and he's asleep. So that's great. Great for everybody when everybody doesn't have to listen to him pant. We can all get a peaceful night's sleep. Peppermint's great to help support those muscles, just along with Panawe. And it also has a stimulating and energizing scent. So you want to get, you know, your animal awake, something like that. Oddly enough, Brinkley's able to sleep with Peppermint on. I don't know if he's just used to the oils being in our house or what the deal is, but, or he just really likes to sleep, which that could be. Just like his mom. Peppermint Vitality. So remember, our Vitality oils are the ones we can use internally. It's very supportive of the digestive system, so you could put it straight in the water, you could put it in their food. Remember, we don't want to use it too strong, so you might want to use that toothpick and just swirl it in their water and kind of increase it as you go along. You know, you could put it in water for long hikes, just like the Peppermint topical, we could just put straight on their skin, but the Peppermint Vitality, you could just put in some water for them, and it helps freshen breath. So peppermint, I believe, is one of the ingredients in the pet chews. Yes, we'll talk about these later, but that is to help freshen their breath. So who doesn't want their pet to have fresh breath? Frankincense, I like to say with frankincense, it's just kind of the big guns. When nothing else is working or not getting the desired effect that I want, then I bring out the frankincense. I also reserve it just because it's very precious and very expensive. So it's one of those things that I might try and use a cheaper oil first and see if I can get the desired effect. But one of the great things about frankincense is it is safe and for small pets and birds. So that's really comforting to know. Very calming to the skin, just like people. You know, we still recommend dilution, so go back to those dilution charts for the specific animals that you've got. And it's just one of the best all-around oils. You know, like I say, lavender is kind of the Swiss Army knife, and frankincense is just a big gun. So sometimes I'll even use lavender, and then I'll go to frankincense next. All right, lemon vitality. So it enhances the flavor of foods and water. So that's kind of one of the descriptions for people. I don't know if dogs can't really tell us if it tastes better or not. But I did use this recently. Brinkley had to get his teeth cleaned, which is a whole nother topic. I was really nervous, and I was nervous, let's just say that. And anyway, when he made it through fine, but you know, I did put a little bit of lemon. I used the toothpick trick and just put a little bit of lemon in his water just to kind of help support his body as he started drinking again, started kind of getting back to food, to help support that digestive system, kind of the lymphatic system, kind of move everything around. Just like he needed. So also it can help with awareness in training or cognitive issues. So, you know, if you're trying to teach a pet new things, you're going to classes, have a trainer, something like that, lemon might be something that you want to look into. Lavender, very supportive for the skin, comforting and calming, just complements shampoos, lots of other things, and you can kind of use it for odors too. It also helps, well, like it says, for calming. So I recently used this. We were at my brother-in-law's house for the 4th of July, and he was putting out fireworks. Brinkley doesn't normally not mind fireworks, but out on the farm, they're not very close to our house. And I've actually taken him to fireworks before, but they're kind of the big ones. And we had smaller ones going on at my brother-in-law's house, and they were actually kind of bothering him a little bit. So I just put a little bit of lavender and peace and calming actually kind of behind his ears because I happened to have it with me, and it did help calm him down. Later I got a whiff of him and he smelled like peace and calming and lavender, which was kind of funny, but you know, it did the trick. So you can also use it just for everything that we use lavender for people. Very, very supportive to the skin and those types of things. Thieves Vitality. Like I said, we could do a whole class on thieves, and someday we will. But just in animals as well. It can be used in all pets if diluted correctly. So go back to those dilution charts again. And Thieves Vitality supports healthy immune and respiratory function. So who doesn't need that for their dog? So it's non-toxic. And the Thieves line, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but that's a little bit more specific to the Thieves topical and aromatic usage. So we'll talk about the cleaning line, and it would be a great one to diffuse, okay, and one to research as well. But here's just a couple things. The Thieves household cleaner, I love this for multiple reasons. It says here it's great for bathing, can help with annoyances, help clean up messes. I've used that. I've used the Thieves household cleaner straight in my little spot bath. So instead of buying like the chemical laden thing that you're supposed to use to put in to clean the carpets, I just put a little bit of Thieves cleaner in there, and it's worked to help, you know, when Brinkley had an upset tummy or threw up or something like that on the carpet. The Thieves spray is great to have, just especially when you're traveling. But one of the things I just like about Thieves cleaner, just for myself, is that Brinkley likes to get underneath the kitchen cabinet. That's where we keep the cleaning supplies, but it's also where the garbage is, so he can smell that sometimes. He likes to get under there. And one time we came home and he'd been under there, and you know, all we have under there is Thieves cleaner. So if he's going to get into that, it's all plant-based, so I didn't have to worry about him being hurt by getting into the chemicals in our house. So that just gives me a lot of peace of mind. So back to our oils, Digest Vitality. It's great for people, and it's great for our pets too. Supports a healthy digestive system. One thing I learned at the classes was car rides. So animals, they can kind of feel, I think how they said it was they can feel the heartbeat of the ground. So you know how animals sometimes, they're just with their senses, they're able to know like when a storm is coming or something like that. So they are extra sensitive when going in the car. It doesn't seem to bother my dog. He loves to go anywhere that people are going as long as he's not getting left alone. But some people do have issues with their dogs and traveling. So Digest would be a great one to use for that and to help calm those nervous tummies. And again, we're going to dilute it, go back to those dilution charts. I dilute Digest when using it for myself, so that would be the topical aromatic, but you know, do that as well. And if you're using it, the Vitality version, you're going to want to make sure that you're not putting it too strong either. So Peace and Calming isn't in the kit anymore, although I guess you do get some little sample sachets, but it's, you know, we have Peace and Calming too, and it's just so great for animals. So it can help promote a peaceful and calm demeanor. You can combine it with Valor to help with positive behavioral changes, and again, good for car rides, birthing, and that would be a good one to diffuse maybe if you had an animal that was birthing, boarding, or different training things too. And Valor 1 and 2, as we know, that we Young Living blended Valor 2 and Peace and Calming 2 to have the same properties and the same support to us that the originals do. So I actually have recently fallen in love with Valor 2. I liked Valor 1, but I never really just used it for heck of a whole lot, and I've just really been liking Valor 2 lately. I scanned for it and opened it up, and I'm like, oh gosh, this smells lovely. So great for a skin massage and soothing on those aging bodies. So Valor is just good. Good. Ningxia Red. Now this one you might not think so much for animals, but in all of the classes I went to, they talked so much about using Ningxia Red. And the horses at the farm, my husband and I actually got the opportunity to go to the Mona farm when we were out at convention, and I learned that the horses actually get to eat full wolfberries as a snack. So Ningxia Red, you know, we're getting the benefits of the wolfberry, but it's in a when you see the bottle kind of settle, the bottom is that puree, the fruit puree that has a lot of the antioxidants in it. I actually have given this to Brinkley. I mixed it in a little bit of pumpkin puree, and he did take that pretty well. You know, it helps with energy for us, just like it helps with our dogs, normal cellular function. Super, super helpful with antioxidants and helps replace key ingredients. So that is just something that all of our pets need. I've seen people just put it straight in their water. I tried that. Brinkley didn't like it very much, but you could try it for your pet. I know some pets that do drink it in their water, but he liked it better when it was mixed with food. I think you have to trick my pet a little bit by thinking it's people food, and he does better. So anyway, in addition to the Everyday Oils kit, which, you know, like I said, use what you have on hand, but Young Living does have an Animal Sense care collection, and it is blends that are made specifically for animals. It isn't sold as a kit right now. I was lucky to be able to get it one time when it was, but you can buy them individually. Some of them are out of stock currently, but we're going to talk about them just so you know what the products are and what they can do for your pets. So they are Pure Clean, Infect Away, Mend Well, Paragize, Repel Aroma, and Tea Away. And if you get the kit, which, like I said, it's not available right now, hopefully it'll come back sometime, but has a little booklet in here that kind of talks about each one of these different products. So the Pure Clean, the Infect Away, and the Mend Well, those three are helps with kind of wounds and skin things for animals. So the first one we would use is Pure Clean. It's kind of to help clean the area. And then you're going to use Infect Away, and that's just kind of help protect. And then the Mend Well is just really supportive of skin and kind of help that rejuvenation process. So those are what those three are for. The next three are, well, I actually haven't used many of those. We have them, but I've been lucky enough that we haven't had to use them. But the next three we have used a lot, actually. So the Paragize is, it's kind of like Digize, but for animals specifically. Animals kind of have some issues that people don't. Kind of in the name, you can tell a little bit what that means. And but anyway, it's diluted already, so that's great. You can just put a roller ball right on here and use it. Put it right on their tummy, something like that. So that's a great one to have. And then Repel Aroma. So we use this the most out of all of them. Let me just grab it here for you. Repel Aroma has citronella, Idaho tansy, Palo Santo, and tea tree oil. So that would be a really good one to put in this little diffuser necklace kind of pendant thing for your dog. We use this, we just have it in a spray and kind of spray it on Brinkley. We actually spray it on ourselves sometimes. My husband said we were out on a walk and he could see the flies and they were just coming and then they would leave, you know. So the Repel Aroma really, that aroma, it just really is helpful. We'll leave it at that. And then Tea Away. So Tea Away is one I actually haven't had to use too much, but I've given out a lot of samples of this. This was one, it was kind of interesting to me. When Peace and Calming first went out of stock, I kind of started looking at the ingredients, and they're very, very similar to Tea Away, okay? And so, you know, it's the same ingredients that we use for people. So, you know, I've used it on myself sometimes if I need to. But again, it's diluted. Some people have used this to help comfort their dogs in thunderstorms. Would have been a great one to have for the 4th of July with the fireworks, that sort of thing. So luckily we haven't had to use it with our dog too much. He does have a little bit of separation anxiety, but we've done really well with that, just being in a routine, so haven't had to use that too much. But that is the Animal Sense collection. Again, these are great to have, but, you know, use what you have right now. And then, you know, if this is something you want to invest in down the line, very much something to look into. If you want to try samples of any of these, just give me a message. I can shoot some to you. I love sending packages right now, so that's fun for me. Okay, Animal Sense ointment. This is one I think everybody should have. I got super lucky with Animal Sense ointment. One time when the Animal Sense collection came back in stock, I was on a Facebook group and everybody was just, oh my gosh, it's back in stock, you gotta get it. And they were talking about this Animal Sense ointment. I didn't even know what it was. I hadn't even looked it up in the catalog, but I'm like, gosh, if everybody else wants it, I want it too. So I bought it. We have probably had this for a year and a half, and I've given out tons of samples of it, tons, to my family, to all sorts of people. And look, we still have a ton left. So it comes in this huge jar. Let me hold it up next to one of the oils here. So this is a 15 ml of Repel Aroma, and this is the Animal Sense ointment. So it is pretty big. It's 6 ounces, okay? Lasts forever, all right? So the ingredients in here, there's the same ingredients we could use for people as well. So we probably use this on ourselves more than we use it on our dog. But it's got mink oil, patchouli, myrrh, tea tree, rosehip, coriander, carrot seed, sesame seed oil, geranium, Idaho balsam fir, ylang ylang. I think I got all of them there. But just really, it's very fragrant, so just know that ahead of time, but it's very supportive to the skin. So we actually use this if we have to remove a tick on Brinkley, you know, sometimes that skin just needs a little bit more support there. So I like to put it right there. It's thick like a salve, so it stays put. So that's one thing really great for animals. If you need, it's really hard to get them to, the oils kind of to stay put or get an animal to sit still. So you can kind of mix it in this salve and then put it on, and they'll kind of stick in their fur a little bit longer and help absorb into the skin. So love, love, love Animal Sense ointment. So get some. Even if you don't have animals, get some. And then the Animal Sense shampoo, which we have had this for a long time too, and it is probably at least 75% full, and I sent samples out to people. So it goes a long way. That's not very good English. Don't let my husband listen to that. But it goes very far. Okay, so it has some great essential oils in it, including lavender, lemon, geranium, citronella, and it looks like I must have 2 different types of citronella, and spikenard. Okay, so citronella, we know what that's great for, and we can just, it's added into our shampoo, so our animal just gets it. Cleans, conditions, and protects. I just love knowing that I'm not dousing my dog in toxic chemicals. All right, so, you know, we use not Animal Sense, but we use Young Living shampoo, body wash for ourselves. I know and I trust the ingredients that are in there, and I just can rest safe knowing that my dog is getting the same treatment. All right, dental care. So one thing that I want to point out for you guys is that the Denturome Plus is the only toothpaste from Young Living that we want to use on our animals, okay? Specifically dogs, because the other 2, the Thieves Aroma Bright and the Denturome Ultra, both have xylitol in them as a sweetener, which is great for dental health for people, but it's not good for dogs, okay? So want to make sure, I actually just ordered this yesterday. It's back in stock right now. So the Denturome Plus, you can use that for your animals, all right? So as you heard me say, Brinkley just had to have his teeth clean. He was actually a rescue dog, and his teeth were kind of bad when I got him. So it's something the vet had been telling me for quite some time that we needed to do, but I was kind of putting it off just because I didn't know if I could handle him being put under. But had a conversation with my vet, and we decided to do it. But right before that, we went to convention, and they came out with these animal pet shoes, all right? So these are actually formulated with ridges on them, and they are to help clean in the ridges in between teeth on animals so they kind of chew on it, and has some great essential oils and ingredients too. I'm really picky about ingredients even for my dog, but these are great. So 2 a week, depending on the size of your animal. For Brinkley, he can get 1 at a time, and he can have 2 per week. So that's for 20 pounds and up. For 5 to 19 pounds, you give half a chew 2 times a week. So you could probably split them. You get 10 in a bag, and using it 2 times a week can help prevent any tartar buildup, anything like that. So you can actually use these in lieu of brushing your dog's teeth. So that's something the vet had told me to do, and I've tried it, and Brinkley's just not a fan of it. But he is a fan of these, so we will be continuing to buy these. And you get 10 in a pack, so, you know, it'll last you, depending on the size of your dog. For Brinkley, he would only need 8 a month, so we have a couple left. He shared them with some friends. This time, we sent some out in packages to some people we thought might like to use them. And they do have some essential oils in it, too. So spearmint and peppermint are 2, help with the breath and also help with the digestive system, too. So these are awesome. So go ahead and give it a try. If you want to try a sample of these and you don't have them yet, send me a message. I just ordered some more today, or yesterday, excuse me, on our Central Awards, which already shipped out today, which is exciting. And I will send some your way. The other cool thing that I actually knew this and I forgot, and I was researching for a different class, that a percentage of all of the Animal Sense products, so that would be the oils, the shampoo, the ointment, and now the dental chews, go to a charity called Vital Ground, which is actually helping to protect the habitat of grizzly bears and other wild roaming wildlife. So they have a Facebook page. I did a little bit of research on it, and it's pretty cool. So, you know, Young Living already does amazing things with the world, and they're really trying to help animals as well with those products. So check that out. All right, so supplements. So just like people, this could be an entire class on supplements for our animals. We're gonna just touch on a couple things. I'm gonna have a drink of water first. A couple things, but this is something I really encourage you to do your research on. These are just some things that I found in my research that I wanted to share. So joint and muscle support, so BLM, which is changing to Agilise, is the new product, so that would be great. Super C is really high in vitamin C. Ningxia Red, we already talked about that a little bit. Omega Gies and longevity. So those are all things that would be great for muscle support and joints, ligaments, all sorts of things like that. Immune support. So who doesn't want their dog or their cat or whoever to have a strong immune system, especially if they're going to be boarding or they're going to be around a lot of other animals. So Immune Power, Ningxia Red, Omega Gies, that Thieves Vitality that we've been using. So these are just supplement specific. So for GI and liver support, Life 5, which is our probiotic, Essentialzyme, which helps break down some of the particles of food that we're eating. Super B and C, so our B vitamins and our C vitamins. Digest and Cleanse, which is a great supplement. Omega Gies. And then for renal urinary function, K and B, Ningxia Red, and longevity. So that was just a short snippet of the information that I found. So go and read a little bit more about that. You'll find lots of great things. Behavior support. So just like the essential oils can help us people with our emotions, they can really help dogs and other animals too. So here's just a short list of things that I thought could help. Trauma Life. This has been out of stock for a while, but it's on my wish list as soon as it comes back in, especially considering I have a rescue dog and still sometimes he, he still thinks after 8 years that we're not coming home for him sometimes, and that just breaks my heart. So Gentle Baby is another one that I heard a lot of really good things about in the class that I went to. I would have never even thought to use that one, but it makes sense. With some of the emotional oils like grounding, acceptance, joy, all good things for our animals. So here's a little bit of recipes that we've got. This is a do-it-yourself canine collar. I haven't used this particularly. We've used some things like this, but make sure we have a regular non-synthetic collar. So Brinkley's is made out of fabric, and mix these things together in a stainless steel bowl. And, you just roll that collar right in it, let it dry, and you can just repeat that every 30 days. So how easy is that? Again, one of the other things that I said, you can get that little pendant, the little diffuser. That is from Essential Bracelets. Yes, Essential Bracelets. And they're running sales all the time, so like them on Facebook. I'm not a fish expert, but this is just some information that I found, that fish love oils, just like people and other animals. We're going to start with a toothpick, really go slow. That water is their environment. It's their world. It's everything to them. So really make sure you go slow and see how they react. Some suggestions were lemon, peppermint, and purification. And, just make sure that you aren't using it in a plastic tank. We know the oils, we don't want to use them. Oh, there's my puppy dog. He wants to come in and join us. So we're almost done. I probably will let him. So we don't want to use those things that could break down plastic, especially if that is that fish's world and their little environment. So Raindrop is great for all the animals, just like it is for us. So here was kind of an example of a recipe for a kitty raindrop. So I've actually heard of people putting all of these oils just in a bottle and kind of just rubbing it down the cat. And I heard somewhere else, a class that I was at, they said put it on something that the cat rubs up against. So especially if there's some cats that are really kind of antisocial, something like that, you can put the oils on things that they frequently rub up against, and they can get them that way. This was a really cool recipe I thought some people might be interested in to use for your cat's litter box. And, just like I talked about with dogs and other things, they can absorb the oils through their feet. Just like people, we can put them on our feet. God intended us to be walking around in nature, I believe. So, we're going to keep going with that theme there. So just kind of a great recipe for you to try. If anybody tries any of these, send me a message and let me know what you thought, because I haven't tried any of the recipes. Chickens, again, I'm not an expert on, but some things that I found, Paragize is really good for chickens. That's one I'd really encourage you to research. Using abundance in nesting boxes could help increase egg production, just like abundance brings a frequency of abundance to us. It can do that for other animals as well. And using acceptance would be another cool one to use too. So again, if somebody uses these, I want to know what you thought. The horses. So on the farm, we got to see Young Living's horses. They are just amazing, especially if you're in Iowa. Last year, they came to the state fair. I haven't looked to see if they're coming this year or not, but they are just gorgeous. We were somewhere recently, and they had Percherons, and Ben said they just weren't near as gorgeous as the Young Living ones, so I'm sure that's just coincidence. But when we were at the state fair, they were showing us how the animals get, like I said, Ningxia Red. They get baths, and they get, they have diffusers in the stalls in the barns at the farms, which is really cool. But yeah, so monthly raindrop, longevity, and Ningxia Red would be great things. I wasn't even reading my own PowerPoint. So diffuser in the barn. So with horses, you can just put the oils on your hands and pet them, and the Animal Sense collection, Animal Sense ointment stuff would be great as well. So Equine Essentials, these are 3 products that have come out recently. They're not available in the VO, but you can actually get them at the store at the Young Living Farm. I saw them there. It has a mane and tail sheen, a massage oil, and a wash and shampoo. So I have heard from somebody who's used these and thought they were great. So hopefully they'll be coming to all of us. And anyway, something to be looking forward to. Cows, again, not my area of expertise, but just some things. An udder wash with these household cleaner, raindrops, longevity, diffusing, all sorts of things using the Animal Sense ointment. And okay, so we are to the end with our questions. We got about 10 minutes left. I'm going to go grab Brinkley because he wants to come to the class. Come on, buddy. All right, so I always make him sit outside, and he's gnawing at the door, but this class will let him join us because it's an animal class. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to just send me an email, send me a text, anything like that. Let me know how I can help you. And, oh, just a second, buddy. For anybody that might be on here that's not a Young Living member, there's 2 ways to join. You can join, just a second, buddy, as a retail customer or a wholesale member. I highly suggest looking into the wholesale membership. You get a 24% discount on all the oils you use after that, and just a lot of support. So if you want to talk about that, let me know. Frankly's saying hi. There's a bug he's chasing here. Say hi, buddy. Say hi. All right. And then here is my information at the end. Just thanks for hanging out with us. And Brinkley's ready to go get a walk. There is my contact information. Feel free to just send me an email. Check out our website. Anything like that. All right. So thanks for sticking with us. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks, everybody. All right, buddy.